Hello everyone. We are together again with a new Behind the Window episode. In this new episode, we will introduce our AIM 3410 4-axis CNC machine, which is newly produced by Yılmaz Machine. I invited our design engineer, Mr. Emrol Law, from the RVED department, to join us at the presentation. He will help me with technical issues. Welcome, Mr. Emrol Law.
Thank you, Mr. Eray.
With your permission, Mr. Emrol Law, I would like to introduce the machine as follows. First of all, I would like to give information about the parts of the machine, then the materials used in the machine, and finally the capacity of the machine.
Of course, Mr. Eray.
Okay, then I'll start introducing the machine.
Sure.
There are three main groups on the machine. The first is the cabinet part that protects the bridge. Cabinet part on the bridge. It consists of the chassis group that carries the clamps and the support system, sub-chassis group, and the mobile kiosk section where the operator performs the programming operations. There are three main groups in the machine. Well, first of all, I would like to introduce our first group, the chassis. The materials we use on the chassis consist of 10 millimeters and 6 millimeters cold-drawn profile materials. In addition, 2 millimeters and 3 millimeters thick hot-drawn or cold-drawn plate steel materials are used.
If you want, Mr. Eray, I want to add something.
Of course.
Distortions occur after the welding process in the chassis. In order to eliminate these distortions, stretching and removal processes are carried out. Thus, we obtain more precise results in processing.
You touched on a very good topic. As you mentioned, these materials are connected to each other by welding. Of course, various distortions occur during welding, and since these affect machine operation and sensitivity, stress relief processes are applied after welding to ensure high precision. Again, I continue to introduce the materials, Mr. Emrol Law. Channels are opened on these 10 millimeter cold-drawn profiles on the machine. In order to connect the rails, channels are opened with a milling cutter, and THK brand rails, produced in Japan, are connected to these channels. These rails are high-precision ground materials. These materials, rails, provide axis movements with high precision along with the bearings. These materials are high-quality, high-precision materials that can operate within 2% tolerance. Again, I would like to give information about the materials used, Mr. Emrol Law. Machine has pinion and helical rack mechanism to provide the motion on the X, Y, and Z axis. These materials are ground materials in order to ensure high precision. These materials are also procured from Güdel Company from Germany. As you can see, they are ground materials. Thanks to grinding, these materials provide ease of processing and processing precision with a precision of 2% to 5% in the machine. If we take the shot from here, we will be able to show it better. As you can see, there is a servo motor and a reducer in front of the end. At the very end, there is a pinion gear. Again, this reducer, pinion gear, and helical gears are completely German-made Güdel brand materials. They are very high-quality materials. While I'm here, I want to give you information about electrical materials, Mr. Emrol Law. The switchgear materials used in the electrical cabinet you see here, are very high-quality materials. As you can see, the drivers and inverters we use in the automation group are Delta brand, Taiwan origin products. They are very high quality, high precision working materials. The contactors and other materials we use are also German origin, Schneider brand products. Also, as you can see, our wiring technique is very precise and organized. The number of the cable is stamped on each cable. The number of the cable is engraved. And these numbers have been transferred to the user documents and user manuals with the same number for convenience, in order to detect the problem in case of any problem in the future. Well, this cabinet has high protection IP class. It is a cabinet with high protection IP class that prevents exposure or any particles from entering into it. I also want to point this out here. Well, I want to continue the presentation with the cabin, Mr. Emrolla. The materials we use in the cabin are sheet metal, 2 mm and 3 mm hot-drawn and cold-drawn steel materials. In addition, there are materials that we use newly in this cabin. Could you give some information about those materials, especially the gray materials on this side?
Of course, Mr. Eray. Composite material was used here. The purpose of using composite material here is to lighten the weight of the cabin.
In order not to compromise on speed.
Of course, yes, and by acting as a buffer in case of any crash, work accident.
Yes, soft material.
Definitely. Acting as a buffer.
It prevents any damage. Of course, the safety of the operator does not depend only on these materials.
Of course,
we also have protection products here.
We have a light barrier. We also have a fence.
In any case, it is a preferred material in terms of not causing any damage at the time of impact and being
yes,
light.
Mr. Eray.
Apart from that, can you give some information about the material we use on the screen as glass? Cabin screen? What is this transparent material?
A polycarbonate material. This ensures that the operator can see the inside of the profile comfortably while processing the profile, and also prevents that burr or a piece from being cut out in case of a possible accident.
A special material with high resistance that prevents the parts from coming out.
Yes, Mr. Eray.
Thank you. Here we also use LED lighting inside the cabin. In addition, as you can see at the bottom of this section, we have a LED bar that gives information about the status of the machine in 3 colors. The yellow light indicates that the machine is in a standby state. The red light indicates a problem, any malfunction. And the green light indicates that the machine is active and in processing mode. In this way, someone looking from the outside, looking from the office, can easily see and detect the state of the machine.
Yes, this is also very convenient for us.
Definitely. And the last part we will introduce in our machine is the kiosk section.
Okay.
I think this part is on wheels. Yes, the operator can take this kiosk wherever he wants.
He can move it.
Can be moved. He can approach the cabin if he wants to see inside.
Okay.
Again, on this kiosk, there is a screen section that carries a 15-inch screen. It is a very ergonomic and useful kiosk. In addition, a mouse and keyboard set is supplied with the machine to support the operator.
Yes, Mr. Eray.
In addition, there are pockets on the side where our customers can put the barcode as an option.
Here.
Connected to the side, right?
Okay.
There are also
yes,
pockets
so that
here.
the operator can put his materials, caliper, measuring instrument.
We have such a very useful kiosk screen. Yes. After introducing the materials in the machine in general, Mr. Emrolla, I would like to give information about the machine's capacities and features.
Of course, you're welcome.
As I just mentioned, the automation system we use on the machine is Delta. In other words, the servo motors and drivers we use are Delta brand products made in Taiwan. Again, the processing engine we use in the machine has a capacity of 7.5 kilowatts.
We have air-cooled spindle.
Is 7.5 kilowatts enough, Mr. Emrolla?
If it is not enough, we can increase the value up to 9
Does
kilowatts.
it automatically go up to this 9 kilowatts?
We can make software changes from the settings.
We can increase it to 9 kilowatts
Yes.
if necessary. Yes, if I remember correctly, this spindle is HSD brand. It is a product of Italian origin. Isn't it?
Yes, true.
HSD is an Italian-made product. A special spindle material that consists of ceramic bearings, resistant to high pressure and impact, long-lasting, produced to process these aluminum profiles. Besides, I think we give 4 clamps as standard with our machine.
We have 4 clamps as standard as an option if the customer requests.
You can add 2 more.
Yes.
You can add 2 more.
Yes.
According to the profile and the processing characteristics, we
6
can put
clamps
2
in
more
total.
clamps, so 6 in total. Can we give some brief information about the clamps, Mr. Imrola?
Of course, Mr. Arai.
So how far can it be opened?
Located on the linear slide.
We have a linear slide over there. We have clamps here.
Thanks to the movable clamp, we can adjust the profile to tighten the way we
We
want.
can adjust it according to the profile width we
Yes,
want.
true. And thanks to the brake mechanism in the movable clamp
We're
here,
roughly setting it up, aren't we? This does not
We
tighten
just
the
tighten.
profile completely. In fact, the pneumatic pistons tighten. We make coarse adjustments here.
and here, again the profile.
Yes, you want to approach from here.
Here we can make adjustments according to the recessed and protruding faces of the profile. And thanks to the rubber used here, we prevent the profile from being damaged, crushed and slipped.
There are materials around here, special materials on both surfaces, right?
True, Mr. Arai.
Yes, we have 4 clamps, plus we can put 2 more clamps. Yes, we also have profile rests here, Mr. Imrola. Profile rest, right here. If you want, move it a little to the right. Yes, we have a pneumatic rest here on the left side of the machine according to the operator. Can we lift this up?
Sure.
Yes. I think something happened there. Okay, nice. Okay, as you can see, we have a movable, pneumatically moving profile rest. During operation, we lift this rest up. Then we place the workpiece here between the clamps.
Sure.
And in the X direction, we put the plate here, our profile. Yes. We provide this as standard with the machine.
And one on the right.
We also give a second rest that we give as an option on the right.
Sure.
Now, we can put a maximum profile of 3,200 millimeters on our machine,
Yes,
right?
we can actually process 3,200 millimeters as standard, but other than that, if our customer has a 6-meter profile,
They have 4M, 5M, 6M profiles.
with our clamps, we can slide the profile as we want, or by leaning the other surface of the profile to the right side rest, we can process our surface on the right and the remaining 3,000 millimeter profile on the other side.
So we can say this. It can process 3,200 millimeters in one go. But when there are longer profiles, it handles up to 3,200 millimeters with the left rest.
Sure.
To process the remaining part,
The profile rests on the right.
it shifts the profile to the left side and can process the surfaces of the remaining profile by means of the second rest.
Sure.
Well, of course, this machine of ours is a 4-axis machine. First of all, we can process aluminum profiles on this machine. Besides, I think it can process PVC or brass alloy materials.
Yes, we can.
So, what kind of operations can we do on the profile? On the surfaces of the profile?
We will explain the software here in a moment. Machine can perform standard operations such as slots, holes, barrels. Yes, and one of the most beautiful features of our AIM 3410 machine is that we can perform operations in the shapes we want, drawn by the operator himself.
So on 3 surfaces of the profile. Can I get a profile, guys? I also want to show surfaces because it's important. I'll take our red profile. Yes. As you can see here, let me take it. When we put the profile like this, isn't it, Mr. Umbrella? When we put it on the clamp, we can perform all kinds of operations on this surface, upper surface, and back surface of the profile. Slots like you see here, right? Holes and barrels, we can do all kinds of operations.
True, Mr. Arai.
In addition to this, we can also perform notching operations on these edges with a 180 mm diameter saw.
Yes.
Via the 4th axis.
True, Mr. Arai.
We have a saw with a diameter of 180 mm. We can also do some cutting operations here. The only thing we can't do is cut the length of the profile.
Yes.
For that, a 5th axis, that is, a 5-axis machine, is required, and that is our AIM 7510 machine. So, we can perform all kinds of operations on 3 surfaces of our machine, on 3 surfaces of your profile, with this machine.
Yes.
In our machine, next to the X, Y, Z axis, there is a 4th axis, which we call the A axis, as you know, Mr. Umbrella. I would also like to introduce it with your permission. If you can open the cover of the machine, we can show the movements there together.
Sure. It is open now.
As you can see, the spindle in our machine can move like a pendulum in the range of +95 to -95.
Do you want me to move it?
Let's move it in the maximum and minimum range, Mr. Umbrella. As you can see, it can move more than 180 degrees. By turning this way and turning the other way. In this way, it can easily process all 3 surfaces of the profile.
Yes.
While presenting this part, I would like to introduce the magazine unit, Mr. Umbrella. Let's make that part visible, please. Yes, we have a movable magazine unit, as you can see at the back. There are 8 tool sets on this magazine unit. 7 of them are end mills, and 1 is for connecting the 180 mm diameter saw if desired, right?
Yes, Mr. Arai, but I would also like to say this, we have 8 tools as standard here. We have 1 saw and 1 tool length measurement as an option.
Yes, we can add a tool measuring device.
We can take out 1 set and put the saw in, take out another
7 sets
set.
plus tool height measurement.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yes, we already provide our tool length measuring system as an option.
Yes.
Here, the biggest feature of our magazine unit is that the unit moves on the bridge together with the machine. In other words, it does not cause any loss of time when changing tools, and this shortens the processing time considerably, as you know.
Yes.
Yes, it's a very important feature. Well, after talking about the magazine, Mr. Umbrella, if you want, let's try on a piece of work. What kind of specifications does our machine have? After processing the profile and the processing properties, I say let's talk about it.
Sure, Mr. Arai.
Let's do it that way. Let's process a profile. Before starting the demo work on the profile, a CAM program is running on the screen, where we do the operations on the profile. I invite Mr. Umbrella again to give information about this AIMCAM program.
Mr. Arai, Mr. Ertunç will support us on the AIMCAM program at this point. Mr. Ertunç, can you give details about the program?
Of course. AIMCAM is a CAM program developed by Yılmaz machine engineers and provides ease of use in this machine. We have the feature of making 2 kinds of programs that we are using in this machine. In one, we create the profile by ourselves. In the other, there are programs that we make over DXF. Generally, our customers prefer to program over DXF. We create a list of the DXFs we have prepared here and choose which profile we will operate in and which profile we will work in. The keys you see on the side are our keys to determine the direction related to how we will place the profile. When we create the correct form of it, when it stands correctly, when we fit the profile in the way we want, when we press OK from here, the profile is displayed here on the screen. What we need to do from now on is just assigning a job to this profile. We can assign this job as follows. By pressing the second button from the left, we can do whatever we want to do visually, such as hole, slot, barrel, square, or if we want to make a special drawing ourselves, we can do them. Or we can save the job file as DXF and call it back here. We will now explain to you simply by showing you a few processes. I will help explaining. First of all, we called our profile, whatever we need to do. For example, if we are going to open a slot, when we select the slot, it asks us for the length and width of our slot in the box that opens on the right. If we know the length of our slot, so I want a slot with a length of 200 millimeters and the size of this slot is about 20 millimeters and its width is 20 millimeters. It asks us for that position wherever we will place it on the x-axis, wherever we will place it on the x-axis. In other words, if I know the length of the profile, for example, 500 millimeters or 50 millimeters on the y-axis, if I say to place the slot, this will give us a visual right now, and I can process the top, front, back and angled surfaces of whichever surface I choose. Whichever surface I have chosen is currently showing the original place where it placed my slot. I also have the feature of choosing the tools from here, whichever tool I will work with. With whichever tool I will be performing, I fix it here with the tools that are already in my tool library. When I press OK, I can now see the action I have done here live on the profile. If I'm going to add more work, I come here again, for example, hole. When I add a hole, on which surface of the profile I need to do it, in the form of top, front or back, I choose the surface from here. I'm adjusting the diameter of the hole as 10 millimeters. I'm entering the X and Y coordinates. You can see it live here. I'm entering the X and Y coordinates. If the location of this hole is OK, I press the OK button and add this hole. If these operations are that much, as I said, we can add all the remaining operations from here. We can also add more jobs. If that's all, there's only one thing left to do, which is pressing the simulation button. When we press the simulation key and say simulate, the machine will calculate this automatically and show us the clamp positions and the centers of the holes it is working with. When we say simulate, our program will automatically show us whether there is any collision or whether it should be moved to the clamps by simulating the operations. If there is no clamp carrying, we have generally worked on the fact that the less clamp carrying, the faster the work will be. It gives us such a simulation as we keep the clamp carrying process to minimum. Then, if we do not see any problem in this work and our CAM program does not give any warning, press the OK button from here and when we press the OK button, when we say save the G code, I write the name of this code, give it any name, for example, I save it as 11 or 3410, and now this is my ready program. We will have a training video for more detailed information. You can use this training video. We need to call this G-code that we have saved to the interface of our original machine, that is, to our worksheet here, so that we can do our job. We need to call the G-code that we recorded to the interface of our main machine so that our machine can work. For this, we have a load button here. When we press this button, we see the program we recorded here as 3410. When we press it and say open, the program has come here automatically. After that, the only thing we have to do is to press the start button. When we press the start, the clamps will automatically move their places from the G code. It will ask us to place a profile. We have done that. We tightened the clamps. Then we will press the start again. Our machine will start processing.
This is all the information we need to convey about the AIMCAM program for now.
Yes, I would like to thank Mr. Emrola and Mr. Ertunç for the information they shared. As Mr. Ertunç said, we will prepare our very detailed training video, and it will be possible to learn the program in much more detail from here. We would like to show a demo run on the machine to show you, our guests, what the machine can do. For this purpose, I will request a profile from Mr. Gökhan, please. Yes. We'll place our profile. Yes. Mr. Gökhan, let's place the profile. Yes. Yes. I would like to give information about profile capacities here, Mr. Militia. Yes.
Here, Mr. Eray, we can tighten our clamps manually.
Yes.
Thanks to the foot pedals, and in the same way we can raise and lower our rest with the foot pedal.
Yes. This foot pedal, this is for the left side. There is also another foot pedal for the other side. I would like to give information about the clamp capacities here, Mr. Emrola. The maximum width you can place is 300 millimeters. That is, we can place profiles up to 300 millimeters wide.
Yes.
The height is 260 millimeters. So we can place 260 millimeters by 300 millimeters profiles. When we place a 300 millimeters wide profile, we can perform operations on the top and sides of the profile. However, if there is a process on both the top and two side surfaces of the profile, then our maximum profile width decreases to 225 millimeters.
Yes.
Now we can start the operation, Mr. Emrola. Of course, I'm getting away from here. In order for the operation to begin, I have to step outside of the field scan. Mr. Emrola, you will also move away from the scanning area.
Sure, Mr. Eray.
There is a light curtain, as you can see here. When you enter this area, the machine stops automatically. Yes, our operation starts. Yes, our operations on the machine are complete. Mr. Emrullah, can we take out our profile to see the processes, surface qualities, and processing qualities?
Sure, Mr. Eray.
Let's clean the burrs on the profile first, please. Yes. Let's move the cabin part to get our profile easily. Yes, we manually moved the cabinet. I think we can open the clamps both on the screen and manually with the foot pedal. Yes.
I would like to add something here.
Yes.
Thanks to the ergonomic design of the machine, the operator can easily put and take the profiles on the clamps.
Yes, this is a very good anecdote, very good information. Yes, we see the operations on the profile. A barrel seat and an armhole are processed. As you can see here, the holes are made in a very high quality way. And here is the lock slot. Again, on the other side, you see the processing of the barrel hole and the armhole. Again, it seems to be a very high quality process. Yes, thank you, Mr. Emrullah. We can put our profile. Yes. Since the processes on the profile are completed, I want to move on to the question and answer part. We will give you your answers according to the questions that will come from you there. By the way, I would like to thank Mr. Emrullah for helping me in the introduction part.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eray, for including me in this program.
Thank you. I hope we will be together again in new programs, with new machines. Thank you.